course, as soon as I sat down and pressed live, I realized I didn't have any water. So let me just grab some water real quick, because I know I'm going to be talking for a while. Sorry, excuse me. Okay. So, what I'm going to do for today's live, or for this reading, is a little bit different than what I've done in the past. So obviously I'm back inside. It's just a little bit cooler. I have a little bit more control over sound variables, we'll say. But what I felt called to do was to pull cards for each of the different elements. Okay, so if you're a water sign, you're a Cancer, Pisces, or Scorpio. I like saying it in this order, so I'm going to switch it. Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. Okay, just going to see what cards come out. We have a variety of decks here that I just finished cleansing. I'm going to shuffle them a little bit more on screen just so that we can see what, in particular, energies want to come out today. Okay, but before I did sit down in this energy, I did a couple of shuffles on my Pandora playlist to see what songs came up randomly. And I did it with the intention of, for water signs, what song is the strongest representation of the energies that they're sitting in right now. For fire signs, and so on and so forth. I did that because my guides tend to speak to me, or I get messages, I get sort of inner knowings from listening to music, okay? And the messages that come from listening to music, but also observing my surroundings. Like, it just got very quiet, right? While I'm listening to music and sort of seeing what messages come through. So I'm being guided to just leave that there. And I'll let you know that I already did that with each of the signs. And for the water signs, here are some key bits or little pieces of information, some pieces of confirmation that might help you know that this message is for you. And before we actually get into that, let me just cleanse and clear the space, okay? I already had some incense going and, channeled a little bit of Reiki in just to keep it nice and light. But I felt like just needed a little bit more. So, this message might be for you, water sign, obviously if you're a water sign, if you're on either of these. But it might fit very well, or you might want to heed this advice if your name is Nick, if you have traveled to Japan, you live in Japan, or you are of Japanese descent. And these are very specific, but they're just little nuggets, little pieces of information, right? If you live in the 212 area code, right, which is New York City, I believe, the number 4 or the number 44 might be of significance to you in some way. You might be born on the 4th of the month or in April. Your address could be 44, right? The next time you go to a numbered parking spot, that could be 44. It's that sort of thing, that these are just sort of keys to call out to. And a little bit more specifically, recently you've been looking up at the sky, and this isn't, not just at night because of the whole alien thing, but sunrises, sunsets, what's going on in the sky has been significant to you in some way, shape, or form. Okay, you might have also just felt more healing or peaceful energies if you spend a couple minutes a day looking at the sky. Okay, so these are very vague, but should fit if the shoe fits, right? And you're a water sign. Okay, so the song that came up on shuffle was "I Won't Give Up" by Jason Mraz, and that has love, relationship vibes. But what I also got from that was the energy of self-exploration, the energy of investigation of your feelings and why you might be feeling a certain way, what's motivating that, right? So absolutely what I think the message that's going to come out for you will have to do with is love, right? Relationship of some sort. And I don't want to preload that or paint that. That's just the energies that I got from the song, okay? So those are just some of the pre-channeled messages while I was listening to some music. Let's get into the most prominent energies that want to come out. And so I'm going to start the timer now, just to keep these sort of short, keep myself honest, because I am going to do fire signs, earth signs, and air signs right after this, all one big live, so that I can just chop it up later and put it on YouTube, okay? So here we go. For my water signs, please, the strongest energies that we need to be aware of, the strongest energies that they might not be aware of. Okay. For water signs. For water signs. What's coming towards water signs that they might not be aware of, or that they need to be aware of? Okay. Thank you. So we have the rooster and the sunflower with communication in reverse at the bottom of the deck. So what I immediately sort of get from that is a lack of communication or something stifling communication. And with sunflower often representing happiness in some shape or form, it sort of feels like that lack of communication or that stifled communication is causing sadness, right? Okay, and so we have all of these cards came out in reverse or got flipped over in reverse. And so we have mischief with, I'm gonna have to flip it, the martin and the foxglove, okay? Next we have healing wounds with the badger and ginkgo, okay? And what I just got from that was emotional wounds, memory wounds, wounds of the psyche, of the mind. And then we have the skunk and the magnolia with protection. Okay, so this isn't a great energy, to be honest with you, especially with these last two in reverse. Mischief in reverse speaks to me of something coming to light, right? A truth coming to light. Yeah, and I feel like it's an emotional truth, because what's interesting is the foxglove are these flowers on the side, right? And they have a very distinct bell shape, right? And as it's in reverse, I sort of saw it filling up, like a cup filling up with water, but I saw it as tears. So it feels very emotional, like there was something hidden, some hidden emotions coming to light. That causes either sadness or causes a cathartic release, is what I just got. I'm seeing 1127, that number might be significant to you. But even with that cathartic release, we have healing wounds still in the reverse, right? And I just saw this XXX. I'm horrible at Roman numerals, but I think that's 32. I think this number is 32. 33 representing self-mastery. In numerology, it feels like whatever mischief is coming to light, whatever secrets are coming to light, there's still pain or there's still wounds that are unhealed or need to be looked at in this. And it really feels like an emotional, a mind wound, a way of thinking, a suppressed memory, that sort of wound, which is rough. And then we have protection in reverse. It feels messy. The energy of this feels like the things that were supposed to protect you, the people that were supposed to protect you, the energies that were supposed to be around you, or the tactics that you would usually have to keep things at bay or keep boundaries strong, failed you in some way. And that's part of this healing, this block to healing, because you don't feel safe. And it just feels messy, because the magnolia is a beautiful tree, right? I've had the pleasure of living somewhere where there were a lot of them planted, and when they all bloomed, it's just beautiful, right? And I actually have a magnolia tree. When I look out my window, I just realized it's heart-shaped, right? And I get to enjoy the beauty of it from afar. But what's funny about it is its petals are thick and let's say plentiful. And so when they're done blooming and they all fall to the ground, it makes a mess. And that's what, and what I'm getting here is like, I think the magnolia is on this card or in this energy to represent protection because those thick petals protect these soft inner sexual parts, right? The part that does the pollinating or needs the pollinating. But what I get from this energy being in reverse is the falling away of those petals of the protection to the ground, and what a mess that makes for the space beneath it. And that it only makes a mess if you're right, if it's over a parking lot, right, or if it's over somewhere where it's not, the petals aren't going back into the ground and fertilizing and completing that cycle. But that's the image that I'm getting. And same with the ginkgo tree. You know, the leaves on the ground could be harvested and used. 818, I just saw on the clock, could be harvested and used to improve your memory with a fortifying tea, right? But if they just sit on a parking lot over something paved over and rot or blow away, they make a mess. And so maybe what I just really got from this, and speaking to water signs in particular who feel their emotions strongly, right? Of all the different elements, you feel your emotions the most strongly, the most deeply, right? That image of something being paved over where it should be natural, where it should be allowed to continue a cycle of nourishment, of equal give and take is what I'm also getting. It feels like there's a blockage to that, and there's been something paved over that's preventing that energy from allowing you to heal wounds. This truth is coming to light, and it's a painful truth, okay? Because it leaves you feeling in a sense that unprotected feeling, right? Not the best energy, so what I'd like to do is not sit in them, right? But instead get some advice, hopefully from our crystal allies here. Noticing that I only have a couple more minutes left. I want to keep these nice and short. Don't want to sit in this, and if you're in this energy, I'm sorry, that feels very rough. But let's see if we can get some advice from the crystals and some crystals themselves that you could use to uplift yourself and to provide a feeling of safeness and protection, and to sort of support you in whatever release has to come from learning this mischief and healing these wounds. Yeah, bloodstone. Okay, get up and get moving. And allow yourself to receive. Do we want 3? We want 3. Get out of your comfort zone. And this is at the bottom of the deck in my earlier reading today. Lots of cooling blue energies were coming out there. Okay, so what I'm getting from this is, like I said, we don't want to sit in these negative energies. They came out so that the story could be told and so that you could see if this message is for you and it resonates. But let's get to what you can do to sort of work through them, right? So get up and get moving. With bloodstone, I immediately get the idea of you're getting your heart pumping, getting your blood pumping, getting moving through yoga, getting moving through walking, hiking, connecting in nature, or getting active in some way outside will help to move the frame that you are viewing your life through, so that you don't feel stuck, so that you don't feel stagnant in one place, so that even if you're just walking down a path, the scenery is changing, and in your brain that tells you that there's motion, that there's forward motion, that there's growth. There's a science about this. I don't remember the actual name of it, but you can look this up. Oh crap, I'll try to leave it in the description because it's fascinating stuff, but it all talks about how even just walking, rather than sitting at home stagnant, does amazing things in terms of your brain's perception of time and your brain's perception of stressful events, okay? So get up and get moving with bloodstone. Okay, and bloodstone is an incredibly balancing stone as well, okay? Helping to balance maybe some of the hurt or pain in your heart from having to learn this and have these open wounds. And what this chrysoprase often comes out when I talk about finances, but in this particular instance, allow yourself to receive feels like a green heart energy, strong Archangel Raphael, green ray energy of allow yourself to receive love, allow yourself to receive support from those around you or from trusted groups. 3:35 on the clock when I said that you can sort of, I don't want to say offload on, but at least have a dialogue about. Because in the same way that getting your body moving will help you process some of this, it sounds like getting your heart moving by being able to express how you're feeling, and then being able to allow yourself to receive love back, receive advice back, is what will help to sort of heal these wounds. And so, of course, if you can get your hands on some chrysoprase and hold it over your heart, right? That's an incredibly healing thing that you can do. Or use it via indirectly, I guess you could say, to charge your water and then drink that water. Because I don't believe it's a water-safe crystal. And speaking of water, we have blue apatite, which is often used for helping with water balance, okay? Helping with your appetite, but also helping you be able to express using your throat chakra, using your voice, okay? And maybe what this is saying is the protection that you feel like you lack now, or isn't really truly what you thought it was. Now you have the ability to define your own protection because you're already outside of your comfort zone. So since you're already outside of it, you get to redefine the bounds of it, and you get to use your voice to assert that. Okay? And this is a beautiful color, right? If you look very closely at the stone, and apatite itself, when you hold it, it has a certain shimmeriness when you sort of, turn it to the light. And I feel like there's a certain inner power, inner light that will come shining through in the absence of what you used to rely on for protection, that will sort of reflect away anybody who's approaching you to harm you. Okay, so this is a tough situation, some tough energies, but you can absolutely, if you work with crystals, get some bloodstone to get yourself out of these energies, to get yourself healing from these wounds. You can use chrysoprase to allow yourself to accept more love into your life, okay? To accept support from people because you have just gone through a hard time, or this feels like very difficult energies. And you can absolutely rely on blue apatite to help you express this. Maybe not outwardly using your words if you don't have like a therapist or something like that, but maybe just journaling. Maybe expressing it via some other creative means. Or what's also very interesting, it just popped into my mind, but it's very significant for you, water sign, is having the intention of speaking all of the things that make you feel unsafe, all of the things that might have hurt you, into water, and then letting that water go down the drain. So like filling up a sink, putting your fingertips in it even, and just saying, I'm releasing all of these things that don't make me feel safe. I'm releasing all of these things that have hurt me. I don't choose to feel that way anymore. Those sort of things, and you actually let it go to the water and let the water take it away, wash it away. It feels like that's a message for somebody who really needs to consider doing that with 11 seconds left on the clock. I'm just going to grab a flower to leave you with a quote and hopefully an uplifted feeling with this message, okay? And then what I'll do is I'll just take a quick pause, clear the table, clear the energy, and start on with fire signs, okay? But for water signs and the flowers, what message wants to come through? Thank you. Red rose. Red rose. Hidden secrets, yeah, and that's what I was saying with mischief in reverse. There's something that's being revealed, and red rose and this bloodstone here, just very similar with the reds, right? Hidden secrets. 3 cannot be long hidden: the sun, the moon, and the truth. And Buddha said that, okay? So you might want to get your hands on some red roses. If you're doing that little cleansing idea that I said, maybe you can make it even on a bigger scale and do a cleansing bath with sea salt, right? And some red rose petals in there. Oh look, I have a red zinnia as well on the table. So hidden secrets. The truth, the moon, and the sun. Okay, water sign, I hope you found this message helpful. If you did, please give it a like or a comment below. And I'll catch you in the next one. Okay. So I'm just going to keep the camera rolling. And it's going to sound silly if you're in the room because I'm going to like say the same things that I would say to other people. Other signs. And I just want to put the cards back and give them a good shuffle. That's tough energies for water signs right there. And obviously, I should have said this at the beginning, take anything, right? Only take the energies that fit. Wow, stumbling over that. Only take what resonates with you, right? If this isn't your story or you're not going through these energies, that's great, because they're tough, right? But certainly don't try to make it fit because you're a Cancer or something else that I said resonated, right? Oh shoot, you know what I wanted to do and I forgot? I wanted to write down the stones that come out so that I can put them out on the table that I'm planning to do. So that if anybody sees this and is a water sign and they're going through that and they could really use, see I don't even remember the crystals that came out. They could really use bloodstone, right? They could really use, what the heck came out? Any of those crystals that came out. I'm gonna have to go back and write them down. I love this deck for the way that it shuffles. It's so smooth. One last one. Okay. And then for my fleurs, this one too. But the cards, the paper that the card is made out of here is very stiff, while the other one is just smooth. Ooh, that's funny. So I just got a little message. The flowers want to be paid attention to more. It's interesting. Okay. Before I jumped on, and I was wondering when I was going to sort of be called to say this, before I jumped on, I was very aware of all of the petrified wood that I have around my house and the need for it to be cleansed. So I cleansed one piece that I have by my feet. But fire signs, this is the message for you. If you have, and it must be a message for a Leo, if you have access to or you have petrified wood or you are in a position to get some, you should get some, because there's something about grounding out fiery energies and connecting to ancient wisdom that is, wow, and that just literally came through, that you need to sort of connect with or attempt. And it doesn't have to be a crazy ritual, and it doesn't have to be a crazy anything. Go to the store, go to the crystal shop, and I have petrified wood too if you'd like to take that conversation a little bit later. But try to find some petrified wood, see what reaches out to you, and then just what I'm getting is sit quietly with it in your lap. Okay? Little thing for you there. Let's clear out the energies. And so you're more than likely seeing just your individual sign, because this is one long live, but I'm going to chop it up. So I'll give the same sort of intro that I gave earlier. Before I sat down, I did give my Pandora playlist and stations a shuffle for each of the elements and each of the signs to see what came out, right? Because my guides often speak to me through music. I got a lot of downloads and information and intuitive hits, I guess you could say. from the words, from the music, from things that happen while listening, that sort of thing. Okay? So for fire signs, some things that jumped out that might be of significance to you are tacos, Taco Tuesday, and Taco Bell. And again, I'm getting like the Liberty Bell, very strong, like gong. That might just be the That's not. That's Quiznos. What the hell? So there's something around fast food. Interesting. You might work in fast food. So again, this is a message for Leo, Aries, or Sagittarius. The song that came up on shuffle is is Muse, Resistance. Wow. So another message that was wanting to come through is live your best life. Live your best life. Okay, yeah, then I remember. So it was, I just have notes here because I did it all at once. But live your best life is the game worth the prize, was the message that sort of came through here. Is the pursuit, is all the work worth the reward, worth the award, worth the effort? And then what I also got was, what is your resistance to living your best life? And I don't necessarily mean you, fire sign. I mean, if there's something in your life that's causing resistance to allow you to receive whatever it is that you would define as your best life, or to live in your best life, what is that? Right? And so in listening to the song Resistance by Muse, there's a very brooding energy there. It's very methodical as well. There's a sort of organization to it. Obviously it's music, so there's beats and organization there, but just a pensive feeling to it. And if you're at all familiar with the tarot, the card that sort of got shown to me was the Tower card. Okay, and the Tower card pictures, let me see if I could find it, pictures the tower that's been struck by lightning, and the occupants of the tower, will say, the people who are trapped in the tower, the people who are trapped in a bad situation, have to jump out of the tower to save their life before the tower comes crumbling down. Okay? And the Tower card is often, I don't want to say ominous when it comes out in readings, it just depends on how you read it. Here it is. But it signifies the collapse of something, so that the next card that comes from it is a rebirth, is a healing. Okay? So there's something about a tower moment, a dramatic moment, where it changes everything. It burns something to the ground. And what I'm really getting is the illusions are being burned to the ground. The truth is being revealed. And yeah, what I get from it is there are people, I don't want to say this is you, but there are people, if you can see this woman, she's hiding her face, obviously because she's jumped from a burning tower and is about to land on the ground. But it feels like she's hiding her vision from the truth. She doesn't want to see the truth. She doesn't want to see clearly, even after jumping out of this tower. And I'm also noticing this crown, okay? And the tower gets struck by lightning, that's how the fire starts, right? But what the Tower card can also represent is being struck by an idea, having your crown chakra struck by the truth, having a new awareness, having an awakening to the horrible situation that you're in, being trapped in a tower, being stuck. Okay, so these are, again, tough energies. But what I also got from it, because I listened to that song almost all the way through, was a release, similar to the cathartic release that came out in Cancer's reading, or in the water sign reading. Like there's pensive energies, there's a buildup of energies, there's this tower on fire, what are we going to do? Are we going to jump, or are we just going to burn? And then there's finally this moment of release. And maybe the release feeling that I was getting, besides just in the music, where they build tension and release, with the instruments, was this moment of when you jumped out of the tower and you finally are free, but you're uncertain of what your fate is going to be, but you've sort of given it to fate. You've given it to faith. You've given it to higher powers. And what I get from it as well is these are dark and brooding energies, or not dark, but they're brooding energies. But the song is singing over and over again, love is our resistance. They'll keep us apart, but they won't stop breaking us down, or something like that. So this is about love in some way, shape, or form. So maybe you are going through some sort of relationship thing that's tough, that's come to a tower moment or is about to. And hopefully in this reading we can sort of touch on some ways that we can help with these energies, right? But I just want to make certain that this is a situation we're talking about, and it's not just the energies of build-up, right? So let's just get a little bit more detail here. I never started my timer. I'm going to try and keep these shorter because I am going to split this up and put each individual element up on my YouTube channel. Okay, so it's calling in my spirit guides for a little bit more protection, for more light and clarity. What's the strongest energy that the fire signs need to be aware of in this situation? A little bit more clarity on whatever the situation is that has this tower energy to it, okay? Introspection with the weasel and pine. Oh, I was hoping that would come out. Came out in reverse though. We have peace with the otter and the cattail. Very similar, slinky, sort of, slinky animals. Something about, and then communication in reverse. Something about going with the flow with these two cards. Yeah, and then the blue energy, the watery energy in the background of the cards. Anticipation in reverse at the bottom of the deck with the quail and the gooseberry. Again, with blue energy. This is an emotional thing, so now I'm understanding. So this is an emotional moment that is either happening to you now or will happen to you in the near future. You might be sitting in these energies. There's anticipation in the verses. In reverse is telling you that it's coming to a head. There's nothing to anticipate anymore. It's here. It's arrived. And so there's a lack of peace. There's a lack of an ability to go with the current, to flow with the waves, to be the little otter on its back who holds its little mate's hand and falls asleep. Like there's a certain environment or energy required to even allow your body to be still, right? Because these are wild, in the context that I'm looking at it, this is a wild animal that has predators, right? But they're still able to find an environment or create an environment or sit in an energy of peace despite that. Obviously their natural environment plays a role in it, with the cattails creating sort of a what's that called? A shelter. But okay. I'm like, how are the cattails even significant in this? And I got a messy sort of energy. So if you've seen videos on Instagram where somebody bites into a cattail and it like explodes into all these little seeds, there's a messiness here. The peace isn't here because somebody bit a cattail and it went everywhere. And obviously that's in terms of nature, that's how its seeds spread. That's how it what am I trying to say? That's how it reproduces, right? So it's not necessarily a mess in that regard, but if there's cattails breaking or being bitten open or popping all over this otter's peaceful habitat, then that causes a problem. And what I'm getting is the mess or these seeds that are everywhere are emotions. They're your inner feelings with introspection here. Okay? And look at the worried face. The concerned, and I said pensive, right? There was a pensive energy in the music that I listened to before I came on. It's sort of like there's an inner awareness even, right? So maybe you are a fire sign who has done some introspection lately, and what you found is concerning because with the pine cone here, the pine cone often represents the pineal gland, and having open intuition, having an open third eye is what I'm getting from this. You have an inner knowing, or you have an awareness that there isn't peace within you, or there isn't peace, 9:33 when I just looked at the timer, there isn't peace in your surroundings, in your environment. And this is causing this tower moment because there's a well up of emotions. Okay, there's a well up of these negative emotions that are preventing you from having your peace. And eventually, just like eventually these people jump from the tower, and there's this blue here too, these are the emotions being exploding even from this tower that's been building up with anticipation, right, that came out earlier. And so you have an awareness of this because you've done your introspection. And being weasel, I don't see this as a negative. When people say like weaselly, being slinky, being clever, being able to be flexible is not a bad thing here. You've tried to allow for that flexibility and flow in your emotions, but if your internal emotions aren't at peace, and then your external environment is what I'm also getting, isn't at peace, or there's a mess around it, right? There's these dark, brooding, pensive energies, then it's going to be very difficult for you to get back to this peaceful state. And what I get from this is communication, the rooster in reverse. Somebody is, or something, somebody, something, some force is squelching your ability to sing out in the morning, to call out in the morning. Somebody is silencing you or quieting you. And with this card coming out in the previous read as well, also in reverse, it feels like, again, I said this last time, the sunflower in reverse is an unhappy energy. Okay, sunflowers grow in one direction. If its sunflower is facing the other direction, then it's most likely snapped and it's most likely dead. And I don't know why that 7:37 on the clock when that came out, but there's something about an awareness to situations where you are unhappy. You can see that you are unhappy. You can see that something is preventing you from singing on your rooftop, singing your truth, speaking your truth. And what I get from this is it's causing this buildup. It's causing this tower. So there's multiple sort of contributing factors that are pressurizing the situation, okay? So let's get, like, I don't like to sit in these negative energies for longer than we have to. Support is all around you, though, okay? That's a beautiful message. And again, the blue is significant here. So with emotions, I'm not going to say it. Maybe I should. Aquamarine on the split. Go with the flow. I was just about to say, with the emotions here and a lot of blue cards coming out, I feel like crystal-wise, the energies that would suit you best are light blue and light green, like aquamarine, blue lace agate, celestite, angelite that just came out. Because there's something about water balance and soothing water balance in you, fire sign, okay? But let's let the cards come out. And like I said, these are crystals that you can actually work with, right? Crystal energies that you can actually work with to help support you in introspection. Yeah, well, that came out like very loud, okay? Very loud because maybe they're the voices in your head. Wow, okay. The voices in your head, 555 on the timer when I'm seeing this. Excuse me, I have something in my nose. The voices in your head, you're not allowing them to come through clearly. You're not allowing yourself to receive divine guidance in some way. Okay, you might be too in your head. So chrysoprase can help you sort of calm that down and allow you to receive divine insights. Yeah, okay, another green crystal, green-blue crystal. Get laser focused. What I'm getting from this, so this is for fire signs, but I get a very strong Virgo energy from this, where you can't handle the lack of peace in your environment anymore. You can't handle the mess anymore, and you want to start organizing. You need to get laser focused, or you want to get laser focused on bringing organization and bringing order back to this messy situation, cleaning up all the seeds that are everywhere, right? So azurite and malachite can help soothe the mind and allow it to have organization and be focused on tasks that need to be completed to allow you to bring this peace in. But what I'm also getting is to allow you to organize your thoughts in such a way that you can express them and turn this communication card in the upright. You can use your rooster call. You can bring happiness back into the situation. Wow, interesting. Very interesting that chrysoprase and bloodstone, just not exactly reversed, but both of these crystals came out in the earlier read. Get up and get moving, and I take reversals as emphasis. So in order for you to get out of this tower, you might just need to jump, right? But the message here that I'm also getting through this card is red jasper, another stone that you might use to ground yourself stably so that you can take action, so that you can plan. Like this Virgo, get laser focused on your plan, and then you can take your fiery, inspired, passionate action, which has to do in some way with communication. So obviously speaking your truth, being the rooster, using your voice, but similar to the last read, this might be having to do with expression via text or electronic means. I'm also getting performance. 333 on the clock when I just looked. So you might be a performer in some way, shape, or form, or you might be an actor, or maybe you want to pursue that, right? But get up and get moving to take action after you've come up with the plan. And what I'm really getting with reading this backwards again, even though these are the crystals that are recommended to you, they also come with a message. Reading this backwards is do your best to find peace so that you can have your introspection. Do something that's meditative, that doesn't distracts your logical mind. So what I just got is like throwing pottery, right? You're using your hands, but you're thinking about what you're doing, but there's a sort of meditative aspect to it, or knitting, right? Something that distracts your whatever side of the brain is the logical side, so that you can receive divine insights with chrysoprase, divine insights as to how to heal the situation, how to bring peace into the situation. You can use azurite and malachite to focus that insight and create a plan from it. And then you can use bloodstone or sit in the energies of bloodstone and red jasper to take inspired action, to take powerful action in some communicative fashion, to bring either bring this tower down so that you can start the new life, your new rebirth from it, or to prevent yourself from even being trapped in this tower situation, to relieve the pressure so that the tower being struck by lightning is able to be quenched, is able to be put out. The fire in the tower is able to be put out, right? And you don't have to, you avoid tragedy, you avoid disaster and the need to jump from the tower. Okay, so just to bring it back to the 3D, chrysoprase, a little hard to get your hands on. Azurite, again, a little difficult to get your hands on, but azurite and malachite is actually fairly common. I actually have those bracelets as well up on my website. And bloodstone, pretty common. You can get your hands on a lot of different varieties, and I would definitely recommend it for its balancing abilities, its ability to ground you in truth, ground you in your heart, and then allow you to sit in that, in your root, to plan and build an internal fire towards an inspired action. And speaking of inspired action, I'm feeling inspired rather than pull a flower card for you to pull a fortune, okay? So just a quick message to close this out with 55 seconds on the clock. Twists and turns, oh boy. Carefully made plans could be thrown out the window, tower, as major changes and interruptions surround you. Make sure you get a lot of rest to cope with all the upheaval. Okay, so I hate to confirm that tower, that towery energy, right, for whoever this is. Okay, but we have perseverance at the bottom, right? You may feel like you're getting nowhere, but there are wonderful changes ahead. Don't give up. And I think we'll, with 22 seconds left on the timer, leave that message for you there. Okay, don't give up. There are twists and turns. Make sure you rest to cope with all of them. but the more that you can find this inner peace to receive the divine insights, the more that you can focus your thoughts to make a plan and take action, all the better you'll be for it. Okay, fire sign? I hope you found this message helpful. If you did, please go ahead and give it a like or a comment below. And I'll catch you in the next one. So I'm not going to actually go straight through. If there's anybody watching this live, I'm going to pause because I need to use the facilities and maybe have a little something to munch on. But I hope you found these messages helpful if you're watching it all the way through on Facebook. And I'll be back on a little bit later to finish out the other signs.